Alright, I'm going to do my best to make a continuous granny square blanket. I am going to be doing this from memory, so if it's janky, I apologize and don't listen to me. I'm going to start with a chain 4 with a slip stitch into the first chain to create a ring. If you'd like to make a magic ring, you can. I'm going to do the traditional chain 3 as the first stitch, but if you want to use a standing stitch, go ahead. 2 more double crochets in the ring. Am I in frame? Hope so. Chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2 more, 3 double crochets, and do your best to crochet over the tail. If you don't, yeah, I'm going to weave it in later anyway. There's my 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 more double crochets, oopsie, there we go, and then we're going to chain 2 to make this corner. We're going to tighten the ring, and then we are going to slip stitch into the third chain, so that's the first one, it's kind of buried under there, second and third. We're going to slip stitch into that buddy right there, and then we're going to turn our work. We're going to slip stitch into this space right here and chain 3, 2 more double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, I need to pull out my yarn. Hold on, it's fighting me. Okay, pulled out more yarn. Now we're going to skip over to this corner. Some people do a chain 1 in between spaces. I don't feel the need to do that. My tension isn't really tight enough to need to put a chain there. But if you are a tight crocheter, then you might want to give that a try. In all of the corners, we're just going to put 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. We don't actually have any sides on this until the next round, so we're just going to be jumping to the next corner and making another corner here. Go ahead and do these 2 and I'll meet you back here. So now we've got something that looks like this. We're going to slip stitch into the top of this chain 3 here and flip that puppy over. I like to slip stitch into the space, and then I'm going to chain 3. We're starting on a side, so we're just going to need 2 more double crochets there. There's 1, there's 2. Once you know kind of the anatomy of granny squares, it gets very easy. The sides are always going to be 3 double crochet, corners 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So this is a corner, so 3 double crochet, there's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip over this as a side right here, not a corner, so just 3 double crochets. And we're going to do this all the way around. And I'll meet you back at the end to see what this round looks like. And at the end of this round, we've got a little something like this. And if you can believe it, we're going to slip stitch into the top of this chain 3 right here. And we're going to turn that puppy over. So if you're wondering why we have to do that, if you stay on one side and just work without turning, it can kind of skew your square. It'll start kind of just turning a little, and if I can find what I'm talking about, I think I took a screenshot of somebody who was having this exact problem. I'll put it right here somewhere. So it may not happen to you if you are pure of heart. I am not willing to take that risk, so I'm always going to turn my work when I'm working on a granny square, or at least a traditional one like this. I'm going to slip stitch into this space chain 3, and most people when they do a granny square end up in the corners. I don't know how they do that. It's some kind of witchcraft to me because I always end up on a side, which doesn't actually bother me. It doesn't seem to make much of a difference. But if it matters to you, you can look up a written pattern. I'm sure it's a little bit different than what I've got going on. And because we're on a side right here, we're going to have that chain 3 plus 2 more double crochet. We're going to put corners in the corners, which are 3 double crochet clusters separated by chain 2, and then just 3 double crochet clusters in each of the sides. Your sides are going to increase the bigger this gets. So we started with just 1 side cluster, and now we have 2. And it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing. I'll show you what it looks like after this round and then a couple more so you kind of get the idea. So here's me at the end of row 4, 5, and round 6. I would keep going, but I'm running out of room to show you guys. It really is just that simple. It is just a granny square and then bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and more sides and, you know, more clusters on each side. That's it. You can go as long as you want, as big or as small as you want. You can combine them or just make one huge granny square, which is what I'm going to do. I love making granny square blankets. I hate joining them. There's also join as you go methods. If you want to look that up, it's a little bit easier than sewing them all together at the very end. But ultimately, granny squares are so customizable. It's really whatever you want to do with them. You can change colors every few rows. I'm using a ombre yarn, which I'll put in the description. You can use just one solid color. It is so customizable. It is so up to you. I will turn this into a huge blanket and I will show you guys when it's done. I'm doing my bouquet blanket off camera right now, but I am taking progress videos to show you guys. Once it's complete, I'll show you everything all at once. If there's any more requests, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Sorry it's been so long.